Let's rock out. Oh, yeah.
Choose your destiny.
Yeah.
Flawless victory.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, this has been in my head all day.
Flawless victory.
Greatest thing ever. Screaming.
This will get you hype right here. This gets the blood going. And then right here, the double time. Oh, break it down.
Finish it. Excellent.
Okay. That's an amazing song.
Thank you for downloading our recent episode. For more episodes like this, go to movieguyspodcast.podbean.com for more episodes. Enjoy the show.
Am I not getting this movie? Like, my wife was talking with me about it the day after, asking me to go, like, deeper in thought of this movie. I don't know. We're going to talk about this one. We're talking about Heretic. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
I am excited to watch or discuss this movie, which I've seen twice already.
Oh.
So I am excited. It's an A24 film.
Mhm.
And this, I want to go down the rabbit hole with you on this one because I feel this movie started strong, but did not end strong.
Oh, I completely disagree with you. I feel the opposite. The complete opposite, actually.
Really? All right, then. Well,
Yeah.
then this should be a good one to talk about.
Yeah, because, like, I thought nothing of it. Like, throughout the whole movie, I'm just like, oh, you know, obviously I know what's going on, you know, and nothing surprised me. Nothing was scary, you know. But then the next day, my wife, who watched it with me, said, what do you think of the movie? And I was like, it's probably going to be a small bag, bud. I don't know. I don't really like it. But by the way, this is not my review, right? But I said, I don't know. Probably a small bag. And she goes, but what do you think about the birth control? And I was like, I don't know. She was a liar. And she goes, no, there's more to that. You got to unpack this. I was like, is there more to this story than what I think? So I'm kind of curious to see what your thoughts are.
Okay, I would like to hear a little bit more about that too. I enjoyed the iteration part of it too, but again, we'll get into that. This movie, Heretic, written by Scott Beck and Brian Woods and directed by the same people, right? It's a dual combo. They said that they wrote this movie with Hugh Grant in mind from the start. They had to woo him into the role, constant emails back and forth. They were inspired by it because Hugh Grant said they didn't like being typecasted in roles and he wanted to play different parts. He has been working a lot lately. And I guess people might have heard him in that interview because he has really been playing a lot of different types of roles. This one being a creepy, scary type antagonist part, which was pretty cool. We get to see him, I think, earlier. He's already got the golden headphones, by the way.
Oh, golden headphones? Okay.
Well, because we did on Frosted. Didn't he play Tony the Tiger or something like that in Unfrosted?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I got to put him in so I don't forget.
He played an Oompa Loompa and Wonka, which we watched.
Didn't review them.
He did. We did Dungeons and Dragons, right? Honor Among Thieves.
Right.
Yeah.
Neighbors' Dogs.
Yeah, and I don't think... Did we do Glass Onion? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Okay, so congratulations. Golden headphones go to Hugh Grant.
And then, of course, your favorite movie... what's that movie, the Christmas movie, that horrible one?
Red One? He was in Red One? I'm serious. He was in Red One?
No,
Okay.
the other Christmas movie where they're all British. Love Actually.
Well, yeah, but that was like 20 years ago, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it
congratulations. Hugh Grant gets the golden headphones. So proud of him.
Good for you.
Not proud of these directors, though. I went back and looked at their stuff so far, and boy, it's bad. Like, the big ones is they wrote A Quiet Place. Congratulations. They directed Haunt, and they directed 6-5, which 6-5, we should have a nomination for, like, movies that just get hoarded around on our schedule and never get reviewed, because that's one of them right there.
Haunt or 6'5" was a horrible.
Horrible movie. They didn't direct Boogeyman. This is, I mean, they don't have a good track record.
They do not. No, they think they do like these. They try to be like these psychological type of thrillers type of thing. Like, oh, well, what if they did this? Or they try to make it so it's somewhat unique. It ends up being quite campy, and I really do mean that. It can't be with a bigger budget. A lot of these movies do seem to be in that realm. This Heretic movie, and again, we will get into it, feels not original. It doesn't feel genuine. It feels like movies that I have seen before. And again, we say that a lot. Yeah. But I will really give you examples of where I've heard this movie from before.
Yeah, one of them would be Red State as one of the recent movies that I could think of when I was watching this. I was like, oh, it's Red State. It's a crazy church dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Another one I remember, the documentary Zeitgeist in like 2007, where they did like the 3 parts of like how 9/11 was inside job, how the world banking industry is running the Illuminati kind of thing, and then of course the origins of religion, which really was that iteration part of it. Really was half of Hugh Grant's speech in this movie was almost taken directly from that movie, it seems.
Right. But the good thing is, right, even if you have a crappy script, right, and not great directors, sometimes the actors can do something with it. And Hugh Grant is a good actor, right? I mean, he gets a golden headphones. Hey, come on now.
I believe he got he got nominated for this movie as well too.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. He doesn't do anything to this creepy old man, I'm going to kill the young girls vibe, right? But I mean, again, we can name 100 movies. I thought of the original Human Centipede with this, right? Like, just I've been there, done that with this kind of movie. So that's why I was kind of pissed. Not pissed. Yes, pissed. Just
no,
like
you didn't have a whole lot of expectation going into it. Listen, I would agree for the most part that the first half of the movie is completely different from the second half of the movie. I think Hugh Grant did a great job, but he also did what he was supposed to do in this. He was supposed to play like this kind of charming, curious person who slowly turns curiousness and being questionably optimistic about everything into this challenging role of faith.
Yeah, because
I enjoyed that. I really did. It's slowly turning into like this threat.
Which is why I said that I disagreed with you, that I thought the second half was better than the first half, because I'm still trying to rack my brain around what's his MO? What is he doing?
Yeah, there's a few questions I have about that. And again, why I wanted some of that to be
right.
So the movie opens up on our 2 main characters, right? Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton.
Who's who?
Two Mormons going around. Sister Barnes is Sophie Thatcher. She is the goth-looking one, if you want to say that.
Dark hair.
Dark hair. And Sister Paxton, played by Chloe East. She's the goody two-shoe kind of looking one.
She's a blonde. I do love how they made a joke about South Park or something like that in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. Great. Fun.
Fun fact, both of these actresses grew up Mormon.
Oh, so they're not part of the church anymore, I'm assuming.
No, they have left the church, but apparently they helped a bit more with the, I guess, any religious parts of the movie. Yeah. So they had obviously some genuine flair to it.
Why do celebrities and their children? Anyway, that's a whole other podcast. Yeah, man, they're talking about porn. They're talking about sex, which that's a big no-no in the Mormon religion.
I think it was more they were talking about different condom sizes, and it was not necessarily an in-depth conversation about adult films, but it's one way to open the film, I can tell you that.
It's one way to open it, right? It definitely got my wife's attention. She was like, Magnums. I haven't seen that since college.
So good for you then.
No, not for me. I'm being just straight up honest.
No,
Anyway.
I'm saying good for your wife and whoever
Yeah.
she's using the magnums with. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Good for her.
good for her. Anyway, though they're going around the town and they're trying to convert or get the, the baptisms or whatever they're trying to do to Mormonism, right?
Right.
And they have all these addresses that they're supposed to go and follow up on, as well as doing just cold calls on the street.
Right.
You can tell it's not really well received. There's some group of teenagers who make fun of them a bit, which is, I feel for them.
What was the joke, right? These group of girl teenagers see Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton on the side of the road, and they pants Paxton and say mystery panties, mystery underwear?
Part of the religion is that there's magic underwear, right?
Magic underwear.
Yeah. And I wouldn't, these undergarments that they are wearing, and that's what we see.
Okay. All right. Sidebar. Do you remember Friends, the show Friends, where we get Frank Jr. involved in the series?
Okay.
Phoebe's.
Is that Phoebe's boyfriend? Or,
half brother or whatever. And he has the kids, right? He has the kids. And they see him at Central Park one day and they're like, how you doing?
Giovanni Ribisi, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they see him and he's all strung out and they go, how you doing? He goes, I haven't slept in like 6 days. And he like freaks out, right?
Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing this memory up for you and the listeners is because Riley is 4 or 5 months old, maybe. The Movie Guys podcast is within his first year. Get a knock on the door. First time ever, still to this day, Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints guys. 2 young dudes came to the door. Right. Swear no flair on this one either. And they're just like, hey, dude. And I looked at him with my baby in my hand. I was like, guys, I haven't slept in like 6. And I swore at him like effing days. Okay. Can I just give me the book and go? And my wife came home and saw that the Book of Mormon thingy was on the coffee table. And she's like, what's that? I go, I don't know. So I get it. I just told that story because these people, which I don't know why, in this movie in real life get blasted, but they are the nicest people.
Yeah, a credit to them in real life, by the way, too. It takes a special kind of person to walk around and get a door slammed in your face constantly over and over again. It's one thing if you're like selling, you're going around and, trying to do a, free roof inspection or whatever it is you're doing. But to try to switch people on a belief, like that's tough, man. Like,
I mean, you get the door slammed in your face, or you accidentally get on an adult film set and become a star.
Yeah.
What's the reference?
Is that Orgasmo?
That's Orgasmo, bud.
And who is the? Oh, it's Jehovah Witness is the other one, right? That does that. The famous door to door.
May I say something that's controversial? Then we can continue on with the review.
Of course. I've been waiting for you to ask me something controversial.
There was a girl in my school that was Jehovah's Witness, and her name I'm not going to say.
Don't say it.
And I'm not going to say it. And I asked her, what's going on, and she said that only a certain amount of people go into heaven, right? And of course, we've all heard this joke as we get older as adults, right? But that's kind of true, right? Like, why would you go door to door as a Jehovah's Witness and try to save people, but only a select few get to go?
Kind of up those numbers, bud.
I guess so. But these two definitely are not friends, right? Paxton and Barnes are not friends. They got set up by the church with each other to do this missionary together, right? They're not cool. They're not sisters. They don't seem like they really, like, this is probably like their first meeting, right? Is this the first time they met each other?
No. It seems that they've been here for a little bit, just kind of doing their mission. I feel for them. I honestly.
Oh, both of them.
In this introduction of the both of them, I'm kind of rooting for them. Chloe East plays this very charming person, and she's kind of by the book. She's very wholesome. She really is just trying to do her best to spread the word of God to people and making it so. She seems like so happy about it, right?
Sure, yeah.
And like this is her calling, and to the point where I feel bad when those teenagers pants her, And I also feel that Sophie Thatcher's character, Sister Barnes, has this part where she plays a pretty good person with the past kind of character. You could tell almost from the start of it, just by the way that she dresses and carries herself,
And her
because
dark
it's
hair.
almost because it's almost quite opposite of Sister Paxton, where maybe she came in late to this, or maybe she's just now finding it a new belief. But basically, that she's on the fence from this whole belief kind of a system.
Right.
I enjoyed both these characters. I think they were well played by both of them too. It was very charming. I know that Sophie Thatcher has quite a career going ahead of her. I don't know if you are aware of the Yellow Jackets. It's a
Let me
TV
see here.
series.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and then she was in like Maxine, the new the trilogy for like X and Pearl. Yeah, she's in this new companion movie that came out this year that's supposedly getting a lot of buzz.
She was
Chloe,
in Book of Boba Fett.
oh yeah, that's right. She was one of the street kind of people in the shiny new bike.
Well, great. Maybe we'll see her again in the companion, right, bud?
Yeah, maybe. But Chloe East is also working. Doesn't seem to be getting the as bigger roles, but I'm sure that they're both working very, very well, and I'm excited to see what both of them will do in the future.
Right. So they go to the house that we're all here to go to, right? We go to a creepy house.
The last
kind of.
house on the left.
Yeah. Speaking of which, is this not America? Everything looks kind of British.
It is definitely America.
Okay. Because the street they were on looked kind of British. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I didn't know if it's not English. It's American. Okay.
I'm not going to. I mean, I don't know for sure, but given that everyone in the town and the two girls and the only one with an accent is Hugh Grant.
Okay. All right. So they knock on the last house on the left. Right?
Haha, yes.
And it takes Hugh Grant a long time, and boom, here comes charming 60-something-year-old Hugh Grant, just hamming it up. Just like, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is raining outside. Oh, but please come in the cold. Come in from the cold, please. Oh, come on. Oh, my wife is making blueberry pie. Like, just, these girls are dumb. I mean, these girls are dumb, man.
Well, they caught him in a pretty good situation where it started to rain cats and dogs, right?
Sure.
The storm was coming in. I don't think Hugh Grant, Mr. Reed, had really planned for that. He maybe just got a little lucky about that. But again, they also set some rules. They said, well, we can't come in unless there's another woman present. And he says, oh, well, my wife. And who are they to challenge that? I guess in hindsight, we know from the, okay, well, we'll stay out here until she comes in.
Right, that's what I would have said.
But again, what you can get from the introduction, that these are two very trusting individuals.
Right, very trusting. They go into his house, right? Typical, like serial killer dude house, right? You walk into the main room and everything looks normal, but not quite normal, right?
He even says from the beginning that there's metal in the walls and roof.
Yeah, he says there's metal, right? And then I even said to my wife, I was like, well, this guy's clearly lying. That does have a woman's touch if he's married. And then my wife goes, no, there's some throw pillows on the couch.
Here you go.
And I was like, all right, and I was like, okay. So they kept on wanting to see his wife, right? Where's the wife? And I was kind of getting excited a little bit at this point because they're talking about the Book of Mormon a little bit, and talking about religion, just having a casual conversation, a little uncomfortable, right? But I'm like, is the wife going to come out in a wheelchair like Texas Chainsaw Massacre style? Just like, you know what I mean? Like, just like, is it going to be something grotesque? Because that's what I was kind of hoping for. But I think that's kind of what makes this kind of fun, right? Because that doesn't happen. Like, there's no wife. Well,
he starts to make them uncomfortable, not just because of the wife, but because he starts to really poke holes in their faith a bit. He starts to really make questions, and I think he makes them uncomfortable with a few of his questions. Remember, he asked about polygamy, and is it still a practicing thing? Which I think it's fun because it shows the characters of both of these girls, again, very well. His sister Paxton is very uncomfortable and out of place with these questions, but she kind of maintains composure and is able to push forward to the greater goal at hand. But Sister Barnes is locked and loaded. She's got the
Yeah, she
textbook
knows.
answer, and she is ready to fire back and be like, well, yeah, that was a regular thing back when we didn't have the numbers, but now we do have the numbers, and so it's not a practicing thing that we do anymore. And in fact, it's actually, shunned upon, right? We don't do that anymore. Anyone that does that is very much encouraged not to, and it's not a thing that we've been doing for a while, 100 and something years, right? Then
I don't know.
Mr.
They made a TV
Reed,
show about it.
yes, they did, big love. Then Mr. Reed fires back. Oh, well, then she makes a comment about how it's the stereotype and just kind of this. Anyway, Mr. Reed fires back that he thinks that it's his belief for who's the leader of the Joe or John
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith, that's right. That it was his reason to just basically sleep around without guilt.
I'm not a religious dude, so I'm kind of going with that one, to be honest with you. Right?
It's a simple answer, right? Where
It's a simple answer.
yeah, the way that again, comparing to the South Park episode, dumb, 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 dumb.
It's
Where
classic.
a lot of that stuff where just going off of a trust me bro kind of a thing. Yeah, I can talk to God, just don't question it. I can just do this and everything. Oh yeah, by the way, he says I can sleep with as many women as I want.
Dumb, da dum dum dum. Right. No, I mean this again. I did not care for the first half of this movie. I really got into the second half because I'm left a lot of questions. But the first half is definitely your cat and mouse, right? Like, where's your wife? She's making blueberry pie, and then he brings in like tea or water or something for the drink.
Coca-Cola.
And there's a candle, right? And then he walks away, and then Sister Barnes turns the candle around, and it's the scent of blueberries, and that's why it smells like blueberry pie in here. And then they eventually follow him to this really eerie, dark hallway. Again, I mean, these girls are dumb. Like, why?
They not without trying, Jordan.
I know.
They are obviously now uncomfortable to the point where they're just like, okay, it's time to leave. And they try to leave. And they realize that they're locked in.
They're locked in, yes.
Yeah. And they try to call, and they can't make a phone call. And this is already after they tried to fake the phone call to say, oh, yeah, well, we got to go back. And so they're really still trying to latch onto this last-ditch effort that, hey, if we tell him that we want to leave, that he'll let us leave. And I think it's that denial where they know that they're in a very difficult situation.
Sure.
But they don't know how to get out of it because they're not hostile people. They are just hoping to touch on this guy's good graces and just push through and just say, let us leave. We're not trying to challenge you, or we were just here just to we've entertained you. We've humored you in your conversation. You're right. You get it. You're a very informed individual. We want to leave now.
Well, I mean, he again. Okay, I don't want to talk about it yet. Never mind, because I want to talk about his MO. But they try to reach out to the shocker of this movie, Topher Grace. I said, that's Topher Grace.
That's
and
Topher
I
Grace, Elder
IMDb'd the
Kenny.
movie. When I was watching, I was like, what is Topher? He worked for a day. Good for him. I'm so glad that he's coming off of the Venom.
Oh, bear in mind, this movie was shot during over a month in Vancouver.
Ah.
Listen, small cast, obviously takes place in a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I can see why it took a month.
Yeah, I mean, Topher Grace worked a day maybe, right? And he's like, not the leader, right? But he's like the dude that's kind of like just in charge of the mission.
Elder Kenny. He's like the father or
Gotcha.
priest, pastor, whatever. He's in charge of the church.
To make the joke, and it's not a good joke, is it sad that he's more believable as a Mormon guy than Venom? I know that joke's like 30 years old, but
No, he was born to play this role.
he was good in it. It was fun. He was good for the 2 seconds he was on screen. It was great. And then this is where they go down the hallway. The girls go down the hallway, and then they're in this like this small living room chapel, if you will. And then this is where all the atheism, right? Like all the atheist people you see on TikTok are all speaking, right? Like, I'm going to show you what religion is, but with Monopoly. Do you know that it was stolen from this and it was improvised from this? Now we got Monopoly, whatever. You know, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, he makes the comparison of the original Monopoly, which is called what, Landlord or something like that.
Yeah.
And it talks about iterations, talks about how there's the original, then there's the adaptation, and then there's what it came to be. And he uses the comparison between different religions, right? Between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, I think, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then he compares it to the game about how, listen, this happens where through time you have the source material that's then taken into different interpretation by somebody else, and that becomes more successful than the original. And so people then, because that is the mainstream, come to believe that that is the original and that is the correct version, and goes throughout time over and over again. He uses the same one for the music, right?
Yeah, with
the Hollies in all I need is the air, or the air that I breathe, and how
Radiohead
they sued Radiohead's "I'm a Creep," and then how later on Radiohead sued Lana Del Rey for the same song. So it's a weird
thing.
Chain reaction there.
So at this point, I'm just, again, I'm assuming, right? But at this point, I'm trying to piece this guy together, and this guy still leaves me with a lot of questions, even after the credits roll. And it's him that I have a lot of questions about. But it's like, what I'm taking from this movie is that he's a college professor, an ex-college professor. The guy has money a little bit, right? So it's like, he's not just some crazy nut, right? Like, well, I guess, what is he? Like, what is he doing?
He's a well-read person. He gives you his story where he started off one, and then he wanted the thirst for more knowledge and to know what is the true religion, what is in his journey. And I feel like that library, that chapel that we see, is basically just a collection of all of his journey that he has gone through up until this moment here, right? Where everything has been read and deciphered and interpreted all differently throughout the ages by him. And he realizes, and I think he says this, right, that the more you know, the less you know.
That's
right?
kind of a good line. Yeah, that's a good line.
It really is, and I do believe that it's one of those philosophical questions, right, where the more knowledge that you know about something, the more questions that you have, the more you realize that you don't know anything about this. You think you do, but there's so much, you gain such a knowledge of what could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this moment, I think, is great in this first half, and this chapel part, just because he really is still presenting this threat, but at the same part, you don't know what the angle is yet. Where's it doesn't seem to be a life-threatening threat yet, right? It's still like a intellectual battle between him and the Mormons.
I don't
battle
know
of
if
faith.
To be honest, by the time the movie's over with, I still don't know if it's a life-threatening threat. I think the sisters, Sister Barnes and Sister Patrick, kind of turned it into a life-threatening thing. I don't know if this guy was going to kill them, because I don't quite understand what makes the second half good for me.
Well, I mean, clearly it's life-threatening at the end of the movie. Yes, are you serious?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it.
Well, this is the part of the movie where I get interesting, right? Where he's just like, okay, look, you have two doors, belief and disbelief, right? And this is where Barnes is like, well, we're going to go through the disbelief door. I mean, clearly that makes the logical choice. And then Paxton's like, now we're going to go through the belief door, right? Because I have belief, whatever that was, or maybe I got those reversed.
That was the challenge, right? Where Paxton is just saying whatever she thinks Mr. Reed wants to hear so that she can get out of here. Okay,
Right.
Mr. Reed, you're very so smart. Yep, you got it, and I'm gonna think about everything you said. Oh man, my religion is whatever. Okay, the door's this way. Okay, I'll go out this door.
Yes.
Whereas Sister Barnes takes this as a bit more of a challenge, where I think she accepts, where she comes to believe a bit earlier on that, oh, this guy's not only toying with us, but this is just the start of something.
Yeah, something is going to happen. So, let's kind of take the bull by its horns. And they go downstairs to this. As soon as they start walking down the stairs, I was like, barbarian?
Yeah.
Right? A
Yeah.
little bit? Right?
Oh yeah, of course.
And they get to this huge room that's a basement, and there's a table and a chair, and they can't escape. There's this water dripping everywhere. And then here comes Hugh Grant, and he's just like, all right, guys, guess what? This is what you're here for. And this is what I took from the movie, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm still trying to get this guy's MO. All right, ladies, listen up. You're here to witness a miracle. That's what you're here to see. To prove to you that our religion is false. So here comes this bride of Dracula lady, right? Like this zombie bride comes out of nowhere, right? With contortions and the bones cracking and everything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And she's going to eat this poisoned blueberry pie. That's with arsenic or something, I'm assuming. And after she dies, she's going to come back to life. You guys will then see a miracle.
That's right.
That's what he's doing.
That is, yes, that's
okay.
what he's doing.
Okay, I just want to make sure I got this right. So this weird Bride of Dracula woman takes one, maybe two bites of this blueberry pie, croaks in it, just dies face first in the pie, and he's like, check their pulse, and check her pulse, and they're like, she's dead, bud, right?
Yes.
This is where I get really into it. I'm just like, what is happening? Is this going to be one of those? Like, again, Red State, where at the end of the movie you hear the horns blow, and it's like, oh, is this real? You know what I mean? Like, what's happening? And this is what happens right after this scene. So the bride's dead.
Elder Kenny knocks at the door. So Topher Grace, they cut to him tracking and saying, oh, well, these two sisters should have been back by now, and then he's going out to search for them, and you could see him going to their stops and asking, hey, have you seen these two? No, we haven't. Hey, have you seen these two? No, we haven't. Finally gets to this house, to Mr. Reed's house, and knocks on the door, and that's when he has to kind of pause, and he goes to the door. The two girls then go up the stairs and try to
get the matches.
Try to get the matches. Yeah, try to find matches or get the matches and do whatever. While they are upstairs, though,
something happens. And when they come back down, because then Mr. Reed is able to evade Elder Kenny's questions, and off he goes, not to save anyone. So Mr. Reed comes out of the movie. Mr. Reed comes back. The girls get their matches, and they're trying to light a fire or do something. Well, when they come back, Sister Paxton notices something has changed. The bride's head, well, she was dead on the table and the face full of pie. The bride's head was turned the other way.
That's right.
And she was like, she moved. It's a resurrection. She moved.
Something. Yeah.
Something happened, right? But so what did I miss, right? Blink and I miss it. But Hugh Grant goes back down there, right? He gets in there, and this is where the big reveal of stuff. This is where it's he gets in a scuffle with Sister Barnes, right?
So they get the matches, they try to light the matches, then you get the creepy scene of the lady, the woman who's now resurrected, removed from the table and is behind Sister Paxton, and she gives this very whispery kind of encounter of what she saw on the other side. Yeah. And then Mr. Reed comes down, gets the match, and basically lets him know that, hey, it's not going to matter. And then walks the old lady back to wherever she's supposed to come from. So
back to wherever she comes from. And this is where he has the big intellectual battle, mostly with Barnes at this point, right? He's just like,
yeah, and
yeah,
before that, before they got there, Barnes had given Sister Paxton a letter opener and said,
yes,
"Hey, listen, when I say the phrase magic underwear, that should be the go ahead for you to just stab him. I can't do it because I'm in too deep. He's gonna suspect me now, so it's got to be
right.
from you."
Yeah, because you're the innocent one.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And so
this, yeah,
now we're at a point when they're down there and they're talking back and forth. Barnes is completely saying that everything is fake and that that person didn't die. It was a near-death experience, and just going back and forth. And right before she says the catchphrase "magic underwear," Mr. Reed slits her throat with a box
right.
cutter.
Which is again another, okay, so this is where I get really into the movie. I'm like, okay, what is exactly going on? Slits her throat. We didn't think this was going to happen. She's bleeding out, right? She's doing the whole traditional, I can't breathe thing. And when she falls down, passed out slash dying, this is where the movie goes weird for me. He cuts a slit in her arm. Great joke, by the way. He puts his finger in her arm, right? And he goes, all right, check this out. I found it. I found it. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's a vein.
Yeah,
I love that joke. That was a good one. And then he pulls out this silver thing, like a
right.
tube, like a small tube. And he's just like, you see this? She's a robot. It's not real. This is all fake. Illuminati stuff, essentially. And
Well,
then,
this
right?
was after. Yeah, you're right. But this was after because he cut her and he was going to under the assumption that she'll come back. Watch, she'll be resurrected. She'll come back.
Right.
And then she doesn't, and then he realizes like, oh, I know why she didn't come back. It's because she's a robot, and then pulls out the microchip or the birth control implant. What I'm curious about here is that when they first come into Mr. Reed's house, there's a scene where they selectively show Sister Barnes scratching at her arm, and it shows the scar on her arm. So I'm
Right.
thinking the only reason why that is in this movie was not as a tell to Mr. Reed, but to show the audience a kind of foreshadowing of what's to come. That she's scratching at her arm, and then Mr. Reed is able to pull that out. That's the only reason I can think of why.
So to be very simple, right? Paxton is this very innocent, naive blonde, and Barnes is this gothic kind of Wednesday dark hair chick, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
and she was scratching at her arm, and then we saw scars. I was like, oh, she's a cutter. I was like, okay, that's why they're showing us this, because she has a dark past.
Okay.
That's what I interpreted and what that meant at the
It's
time.
a secret. It's a secret that she's
Right,
hiding.
it's a secret. So I was like, okay, she's a cutter, right? Okay, dark hair, blah blah. And then when he, oh nope, it's a vein, and pulls out this thing. Gina said to me, my wife said to me, no, that is actually a birth control thing. This is a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know this. Why would it be in the arm? But okay. And then like he was going off saying that this is like the Matrix kind of. He didn't say these words, right? But he was like, "This is the Matrix, pretty much Neo. Like this isn't real." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's robots everywhere around you, right? just go. He's batshit at this point. And then she's like, "No, this." Paxton says, "No, that looks like a birth control thing, bud."
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
calls him out on it.
And then she continues to call it because she remembers Sister Barnes's words where you got to attack him, challenge him.
Right.
Yeah, and don't let him get to you. Question everything that he's doing. Why do you think he killed Barnes?
Because she was too smart.
That's what I was thinking the same as well.
But I don't think he tried to kill her though, because that was not a very, very good throat cut either. You and I've seen a lot of movies. You and I've seen throat cuts. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deny a throat cut, right? You know what I mean? But that was a little slit compared to some other movies.
I mean, a box cutter can do some damage, so maybe it was a deep cut, but I hear you.
You know what I mean? It's just like she wasn't like grabbing at her throat going la la la, right? You know what I mean? Like it was a small little slit here. There's a lot of blood.
There was a lot of blood. I get that, but yeah, I feel you. I feel like
So I'm just
maybe you could have taken something and just tied it around the neck, and you could have prolonged, maybe that a little bit, but instead of just letting her bleed out on the floor. But
which is again
whatever.
boggling my mind because we're getting into the depths of this of what really is going on. Like, and as I'm having this conversation with you before we get into the big reveal of other folk in this movie, I pardon the language, I think the guy's just batshit crazy. Like the director made it a point to really show us the audience that that Barnes has a scar in her arm. I mean, like they blatantly showed us that, right? Which makes me say that the director's saying that Hugh Grant has seen that scar. So he knows something could be there, right? And he's digging in her arm and he pulls out this thing. He goes, "Oh, you see this, Paxton? She's a robot. She's a fembot." Like he's just batshit crazy, right?
And
Is that the movie's telling you?
And this is where Paxton calls him out on his improvising.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she goes, "I don't think this happened. I think that when we were upstairs, you switched the brides."
Yeah.
Right. You switched them, right? And then she discovers that there's a trap door in the floor. And again, another reason why I think these girls were dumb, right? And she's like, "I bet the dead body's down there." And he's like, "Well, there's only one way to find out, bud." And she just like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to this dark cellar." Why not? Right?
Well,
she voluntarily goes down there.
There's the other joke of it too, is that earlier on, I believe, when they were upstairs in the living room and they had a conversation, that awkward back and forth, and Mr. Reed quotes that with great power comes great responsibility.
She's a Spider-Man.
Paxton says Spider-Man, and he says, no, it's actually, I forgot what the actual source of it was. But then later on,
yeah.
And then later on at this point, when she goes down into that cellar, and I think this just says, like, the only way out is through. And he says, "Oh, is that Robert Frost?" And he says, "No, it's Swamp Thing."
Yes. Yeah, that was a good joke. Yes, Swamp Thing. We got to review that one day. Of course, he shuts the trap door, right? She's all alone. There's a dead body there. And then she goes through these Buffalo Bill kind of doors, right? She keeps on going through door, through different rooms to, like, deeper into his madness, if you will, right? It's raining outside.
I did notice something here at my second watch.
What'd you notice?
So upstairs, when he wrote on the two doors, belief and disbelief, that was a green and purple door. And then when she went down into that cellar, the cellar, and those, she went through three doors. The first two was a green and purple door. The last one was a red door.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm wondering if there's the belief, there's the disbelief, and then there's possibly the truth or the answer.
Right, and she goes to the red door, and this is where we get into a very bright white room with cages, and there are younger women, older women, or women that are just dying, that are wrapped in blankets because it's like a freezer in there, and it keeps on getting water sprayed on them. Don't know why. And these are his brides. This is what he has. And then he comes downstairs. He's like, "Oh, you know the truth, right?" And then, like, okay, so this is where the reveal comes for me, where I have a question for you. This is what's going to determine my popcorn rating. What is he, and what's his MO? Did he lure Paxton and Barnes here to make them his new brides? Question one. Question two, did he lead them here just to kill them? Question three is, did he lead them here to see if they would outsmart him so he would let them go? I have so many questions of exactly what is going on here in this freezer room. This is what I really was excited to talk to you about.
So I think, really, because at this point we have the final confrontation, right, Well, not necessarily, but the final challenge. Yes, if you want to say that, where Mr. Reed has been trying all along to say, do you get it now? Do you get what the one true religion is? And Paxton says, yes, I finally get it. And she recaps everything. She says the one true religion is control. And you can see him kind of getting off on that a little bit, right?
Right.
I think that just as the Mormons, their goal is to go around and convert by preaching the message of God or whatever they have learned into getting into their practice. He is getting off the same way where he is trying to convert and he gets off showing his true religion, which is control. But he makes that again, that comparison that all religions in the same part are just there to control you. You can believe in their message, but ultimately there's somebody calling the shots at the top, and you let them. And he says that these people and the women in the cages, that they let him do this. They were down here and it was easy. It was the control part of it too. Let them come in for this little bit of belief, and you can control somebody for it.
So are you telling me that these other women in cages have been to his house, been through the same steps that Barnes and Paxton has seen the resurrection of the blueberry pie, and then it's worked in the past to where these other women are like, oh my God, resurrection is real, so we're going to follow you and be in cages.
I can't
Yes.
say that it was the exact same steps. No. I can say, however, that his influence, his religion of control allowed him to put them in that place.
But how? That's the question that I have is like, that's why I feel that he has gone through this before.
Oh, I'm
Because
sure. And I'm
because
sure we'll find out in Heretic too, the origin story.
son of heretic.
Electric Boogaloo.
There you go. Nice. No, I really think that's what happened, right? I mean, like he's brought other women here, and he did this resurrection bit, right? And it's all
That
worked
was
before.
that probably was the improv though. It was the improvisation. Oh, I can't say that word. But that he had to do it. So maybe he had done it different ways. Again, maybe
Maybe.
there was different plans for different people. And again, who's to say? You can't say that this was the same thing over and over again. But there's also no way to say that he didn't.
Right.
So
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is that maybe he has pulled his resurrection thing multiple times, and that's what made these women follow him. So then what's his end game with Paxton, right? Because he already killed Barnes.
I'm
So is it
wondering if it's like him just getting off on taking these believers and stripping them of their belief and having them realize that it's all fake, it's all there to control.
right?
And right, I wonder if like that's what it is. It's just beating them down enough to
Kill
to
him
that
at the end?
moment.
Or to put her in a cage? Like, I mean, like, what does he want to do? Does he want to kill Paxton or does he want to put her in a cage?
You're right. I'm not too sure.
Okay. All right. I was just curious what you thought on that. Because the
One would
questions that I'm.
think, sorry to cut you off, one
Yeah,
would
yeah.
think it would be to put her in the cage.
That's what I would. I mean, like my questions, Eric, are pretty much my reasons, right? Oh, he's done this before. He's pulled the resurrection thing before, and it's all worked in the past. No other woman has been smarter than these two before that realized that the head was turned or something like that, right? Like something small, to where they give up their belief in their God and now they believe in Him. That's how I took it, and Paxton was clearly the weakest out of the two, right? So we're going to convert her to say, okay, throw me in a cage, bud. But that doesn't happen, right? She sticks the letter opener through his neck up to his ear, like through his cheek. It was
Yeah.
amazing, right?
After
Right,
he
and this
says
is
magic underwear, by the way, too, the magic word.
yes. and this is where the gurgle sounds come. All right, and we get the best shot in the whole movie. The best shot. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but we see that there's like a little model of the house that he made, right? And then this is where she climbs up the ladder or whatever, and we see her in the model. But then when she walks through the door, it's the house. I thought it was a cool shot. I thought it was a really cool shot.
Yeah, they did some really
fun
good
visual.
transitions in this movie. Yeah.
And this is where she like tries to fight, try to figure things out, right? She goes back down to the basement, not the cellar, but the basement, right? And there's Barnes, and then here he comes again, right? And gurgling, blood, right? And he's getting ready to stab her in the throat, like he has the box cutter on her throat. But this is when Barnes comes in with a piece of wood that fell in the scenes prior, that had nail sticking out of it, hits him on the head.
Yeah.
He's dead. Barnes is
You
dead.
did jump that Mr. Reed did stab Paxton in the gut with the box cutter.
Yeah, and the fun thing is that it was one of those like stabs that you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she turns and he just stabs her ever so slowly.
Yeah.
Like in that, like in the scene in that I still can watch as a grown man. The scene in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
At the
I
end.
know you're gonna say that.
Yeah. Stabs the guy. It's like, yeah. Do you feel that?
It's
right?
a hard one to watch. Yeah.
The hard one to watch. So he stabs her slowly in the stomach, right? And she's like, dude. By the way, good call that you knew I was going to bring that up.
Well, not too many scenes. That one sticks in your head.
Oh, that one, hell yeah. And she's slow. Well, she's not dying, right? But she's like bleeding out. And then he has the box cutter to her throat. Barnes comes in, kills him. And then Barnes is now dead. And then she escapes, but then she hallucinates a butterfly, which I'm assuming is Barnes as a metaphor, right? Or maybe her.
Well, yeah, because at the beginning, during the awkward conversation in the living room, Paxton says that she tells people that when she dies, she'd like to come back as a butterfly, and that she'll land on their hands to let them know that it's her, not the head, not the shoulder, but the hand. And
Right.
It's a nice callback to that conversation. It also was nice because in this moment where she's on the ground from being stabbed, and Mr. Reed is also on the ground crawling towards her, trying to maybe get one last kill in there. Paxton starts praying, right? And
Yeah.
there's this part where they talk about how they did an experiment, right? The praying experiment where there's 50 people in one room, in the other room, and then the praying experiment, and how it did nothing. But she says that it does something for her, that she likes to think about others, that it's not just about her at the end, that she likes to give thanks to being like, oh, well, I'm praying for these people who have done so much for me in my life. And it's a very selfless act. And that kind of goes, yeah, that's really what saves her. That really is telling, because there are parts in this movie that really do attack religion, but there are other parts that defend it. This being one of them. Another one is where after Mr. Reed goes off on his whole thing about the different gods and how the story of Jesus is not original, how it's been told many times about all these other deities, and then Barnes comes back and she's like, well, you failed to mention like all the differences or all the similarities that they have. You just go through you point out all the similarities that they have in relation to Jesus, but you failed to mention all the differences that they have, right?
Yeah, right.
You point out the few that they have in common, but not the dozens that they have separately. It's just a coincidental kind of a thing. Or how about how what you said, the Judaism is not a popular religion, but then failed to mention the Holocaust, how a huge percentage of obviously the Jewish faith has been wiped away from the world. So
Right.
yeah, it's a lot of those back and forth. It's good points.
It's good points. And like, yeah, my wife had a question. She was like, do you think that she was saved? Do you think she died? And I was like, well, the movie ends abruptly, but I mean, clearly she's saved, right? I mean,
I think everyone gets saved and they all live happily after ever. Right.
So popcorn rating, you did not help me change my mind. I said at the
I'm not
beginning,
going to.
right. I said at the beginning of this episode that I was like, well, that was what it was. I give it a small, and I still stand by it. I was hoping with the MO of Hugh Grant and his past with these other women that maybe you would share a different viewpoint than what I had, maybe. But to be honest with you, I'm probably never going to watch it again.
No, sure. I I would give this a medium just because, and I'll tell you why. I like the way that it started.
Volta Pulp Fiction performance where it's just like, oh my God, where did this come from? Right? Like nothing like that. Um, I didn't feel Barnes and Paxton were any strong heroines. I didn't feel the movie was strong. I felt the movie was weak. So because I feel the movie is weak, I'm gonna give it a weak review and say that it's a small bag of popcorn for me. If that makes sense.
I give it a medium.
Oh,
Because I enjoyed everyone in this movie, all four of them. I think it was a fun that what they did in this movie. It was very well acted. I like the way they did everything. I like the first half of this movie, as I said before, but I really did not like the ending of this movie. I would have enjoyed much more that if Mr. Reed was this person who was not this psychopath, but who was just really hell bent on challenging the faith and putting them through these trials. Okay.
that would be cool.
Again,
Okay.
non-lethal trials and really testing their faith, really making them question, why are you doing this? What is the point of this? Getting them to a point where are they praying? Are they looking out for each other? Is it a selfish thing? What have you learned? And to go through like the different, like the 7 layers of hell, if you will. They have
They
the
showed
first,
that picture.
yeah, exactly. So they had the first floor, which is probably maybe first layer, the chapel, which could be second, the basement, which could be third, fourth is the cellar, fifth is you could have made it. We were so
Yeah.
close, maybe 2 layers out there to
That's
really
a
make
better idea, man.
a full trial and have it at the end really have them maybe attack or kind of do something to get him out of there, or just beat the trial altogether, or challenge him enough to where he like lets them go, or I don't know, find something,
I'm
or
liking it.
have Elder Kenny have more of a role in this as well too.
Maybe Elder Kenny and him are cool, right? And like no lethal, right? But at the end be like, all right, here's Topher Grace. We were testing your Mormon religion, ladies, and you failed.
Well, maybe
You
that might
No
be a
longer
stretch.
Mormons.
Or maybe have Elder Kenny like be this curious person, because maybe he does see instead of the bikes being taken back,
Yeah.
at the end, maybe he does see the bikes out front and he gets really
Yeah.
worried and curious, right? And so he does call the police and he goes fishing around and looking around the house. And then maybe there's a moment where the girls actually do get out and they escape. And as soon as they do, they get to see Elder Kenny, and then Mr. Reed is coming out to go get them or something like that. And maybe in doing so, maybe he kills Elder Kenny. Maybe that was his plan the entire time. And then right as they do, the girls run, and then there's the police. Wrap it up.
Standard, right there. Yeah. Elder Kenny gets it right. Topher Grace gets it. That makes more sense.
But I would have really enjoyed this movie a lot more if they went down this thriller, psychological part of it, rather than just being at the end where it's just like, all right, well, forget the first half. Let's just start stabbing.
Yeah. Stab, stabby, stab.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm actually surprised then, right? Because I give this a small, you give this a medium, so we do not agree, right? It is rare that we don't agree, but
I am only, and I'll repeat it, or to finish it up, it's not for story so much as it is for the acting. I loved all 3 of these people, how they did in this movie. I thought they were wonderful. I love Hugh Grant, obviously, and these 2 other actresses.
I never thought I would say that.
Yeah, exactly. He's really proven himself. Listen, I'm still remembering 9 Months. If you remember that movie with Julianne Moore and Tom Arnold.
You're still thinking about that one?
I grew up with that movie. I thought it was great. Robin Williams was in that movie.
Nothing that Robin Williams did in the 90s was bad. I will die on that hill.
So, and you know what? I was introduced to Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East from this movie.
Yes.
And they really left an impression on me. I thought they did a fantastic job. I hope to see more from them. I was actually curious to, because of Sophie Thatcher in this, to watch Yellow Jackets. I have not yet, but I've heard good things. So.
I've seen it. I've seen it advertised. I don't know. What is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
On streaming?
It's
question mark.
One of the streaming platforms, right?
Amazon, Net, Hulu,
Amazon.
Peacock.
We should create that Amazon Net Hulu. All right, so we do not agree. I give this a small. You give this a medium. I think we gave pretty good points to it. Still confused on his MO because the whole she's a robot. Oh no! Wait a minute. Here it is. It's a birth control. I don't know. I think it's just bat crazy.
You're right. There's a lot of problems at the end.
Yeah,
that's where I'm really just kind of. Yeah.
But that one was fun for me though. That was fun because it was just like, okay, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, and maybe I'm being too forgiving. I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater there.
No. I totally agree with you. All right, well, that concludes Heretic, right? So everybody who's listening to this most recent episode of Movie Gas Podcast, check us out at moviegaspodcast.podbean.com or wherever you get your podcast from. We are on that platform. And Eric, thank you so much for joining me. And we'll be back next Thursday for another awesome episode. Have a good night. One of those days, bud. Okay, ready?
Here we go. Finally,
here we go. We're going to watch two trailers for this.
Summer. Okay.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Baby.
I've not seen either one of
You
these.
okay?
We're going to watch both. She's pretty.
Why don't you go upstairs and...
What about
do that
him?
meditation
Is he
you
pretty?
like?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are the
Find a peaceful setting
are the
Why
pop
would you do it?
collars coming
and
back?
close your eyes.
Well, why would you do a red
Imagine a
bath
white
bomb?
light calling you.
Hello?
Right?
Now,
He's
feel
doing the double
that
collar.
love entering your body
Oh,
and emanating out from your chest.
Oh, you got a harpoon.
it looks great.
Take a
We saw this in the
deep
Monkeys.
breath in and remember the energy you give to the universe always comes back to you.
Good for him, not screaming at all.
So this can't be the opening, right? That's not the opening of the movie.
This is some kind of karma.
He's like the first victim, I'm assuming.
What if someone
See how it
saw what
goes.
happened?
You need to handle this. This isn't the first time
Ready,
there's
Prince?
been violence like this in Southport.
Oh
It's
my
not going to
God.
stop.
This is the first time he said.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's dead?
Yeah, she died in the first movie.
Someone is coming after us. I need your
And
That's what she died.
the Cindy Campbell. Jennifer
Oh,
Love.
hey.
Oh, yeah.
help. I just have
Well-
one question.
Work for Scream.
What did you do last summer?
This place is so beautiful, it makes me want to die.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't that look amazing, though? I mean, but tell me it doesn't.
It doesn't. It looks amazingly bad.
Exactly. It's everything that you want it to be, right?
Oh, yeah, like, I'm going to watch it. We're both going to watch it. Are you kidding me? Without a doubt, we're going to watch that.
It looks great. Like,
I
it legitimately
can-
looks great.
I can feel the paycheck for
You felt the paycheck in the Scream remake.
which one?
No, the Scream.
Yeah, what, Scream 4, 5, 6?
Scream 5. When they rebooted everything, right? And I mean, like, it worked. This looks great. That opening kill in the trailer, if you will, it's not going to be opening kill, right? But that in the trailer in the beginning was
Who
great.
knows? We don't know what the story is, or at least I don't. I don't know if you've looked ahead and seen what the story, what the premise is, but
I just love how they take